someone else. Right. Hi. Good morning. Welcome to Prenatal Yoga. My name is Maureen. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're doing well at home. I hope everyone's feeling well, doing well, taking care of themselves. All right, let's just make sure. Okay, great. So let's begin on our mats. Grab any props that you may have that will help you today for class, blankets, towels, a bolster, and a couple of blocks. If you do happen to have them, obviously I know not everyone has all of these props, but grab whatever you do have, what you may want or need, and we'll begin. All right, so once you've found a comfortable seat, sit however it's best for you. You can sit on a chair, you can elevate your seat, you can sit cross-legged or legs extended if you prefer. So we're going to begin just with some breath work so we can connect to our bodies, to our babies, to our own breath, and just kind of bring all of that into the practice today. So just kind of focusing on how we can make ourselves feel better, connect to the baby, connect to your breath. So once you've found a comfortable seat, sit however you prefer. And then let's do this today. Turn the palms up. We're going to begin with the palms facing up either on your knees or on your lap. And then bring the thumb and first finger together to touch. So we're going to start with a little mudra, just by that little sealing of thumb and index finger. The rest of the fingers are just relaxed. And just a gentle little touching or tapping of those first two fingers. And then take a moment before you close your eyes, see if you can sit up a little taller. See if you can really feel you're lengthening up away from your seat. So the spine is long, the top of the head is stretching up, but the shoulders are softening down the back. And then once you have that comfortable seat, fingers touching, close your eyes. And then just begin to listen to your breath. So as you notice the breath, notice if you can hear the breath or if you have to breathe a little deeper to make the breath a little bit more audible. Maybe kind of lengthen and deepen that inhale so you really feel the breath move in the body and you really almost can hear that breath. And then each exhale, allow it to feel like a little bit of a release, a little bit of a letting go. So perhaps that allows you to kind of shed or get rid of any thoughts, any worries, anything that might be consuming your thoughts right now that you don't need. And just a few more breaths like this, paying attention to the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. And trying to get them to match one another. Exhales just as long as the inhales. Inhales just as long as the exhales. And very gently release that seal of the thumb and first finger. Let the palms just gently open. And then place your hands, both of them, on your low belly. Just below, thumbs below the navel. So sitting really low, just resting over baby's home. And then take a couple of breaths there, just feeling like you can fill up that space with breath. So you feel the belly move into the hands with your inhale, and you release as you exhale. A little bit of a letting go, a surrender. Then keeping just one hand there, move the other hand behind you, resting the back of the hand at the back body. Then breathe into both hands. So not only breathing into the belly, but also expanding and lifting the back body so the rib cage can lift up off of the waist and you can create a little bit more space for the back. Then from there, just moving the hands to the sides of the body, holding the ribs. So fingers wrapped around the front of the ribs, thumbs hooked into the back ribs. And then with each breath, work to fill up the hands. So you're expanding the rib cage, making more room for you to breathe. Then keeping all of that breath work, moving on, lay one hand over your heart, and then rest the other hand right on top of that. So hands laying over the chest, and with your inhale, feel that breath travel all the way up. So starting with the low belly, moving to the back body, the sides, and then all the way up into the hands so that the chest moves into the hands. And then exhaling completely. And then take about 5 more full body breaths like that, just working to really fill up the entire body with your breath and emptying all of that air out with each exhale. So the inhale is completely new air you're taking in. And then when you're ready, bring the palms together in front of your chest, fingers pointing up towards your chin. Maybe the thumbs just lightly resting on the sternum. And take one more nice big long inhale here, sitting up nice and tall. With your exhale, bow your head in, just drawing the chin to the chest. And then release the hands back onto the lap or the knees. Let your eyes open. Then slowly lift the head, chin parallel to the ground. Right. Let's switch the way we are seated. So moving on, we're going to just swap the leg crossing or adjust position so you don't feel stuck. And then place the hands onto the knees, palms down now, so that you feel a little bit more grounded, a little more settled. Do a couple of little shoulder rolls. Just briefly roll the shoulders back. And then reverse directions, go the other way, rolling the shoulders forward a couple of times. And then just moving the shoulders down the back, let them really relax. We're going to do just a little bit of neck stretches. So begin to tilt your head towards the right so that you're bringing your right ear closer to your right shoulder. And you can just stay right here, releasing this left shoulder down. Or if you'd like to go a little further, just place the right hand along the side of the head and just encourage it to go a little further. Just getting a nice little stretch for that side of the neck. Then slowly bring it to center, place the right hand back onto the knee, and then start to tip the head over to the left. And once again, just staying there, or just place the hand on the top of the head, fingers kind of wrapped around the right side. And then just encourage a little bit further of a stretch if you like. And then bringing it slowly back to center. Draw the hands together in front of the heart. And sit up nice and tall. Once again, long spine. Then interlace your fingers in front of your chest. Turn the heels of the hands forward and then flex the palms as you straighten the arms. So the backs of the hands are right in front of the chest. Arms are straight, stretched out in front of you. And then shoulders in the sockets. Continue to sit tall as you begin to elevate the hands above the heart. Only go as far as you can comfortably go without letting the shoulders start to creep to the ears or the elbows to start to bend. Then take another inhale, continue to sit upright. With your exhale, begin a slow twist to the right. Just a subtle turning of the upper body over towards the right. And then once you've turned as far as you can comfortably go, release the clasp of the hands, stretch the arms out, and then down toward the ground. So the right hand comes behind you, the left hand crosses to the right knee. You're taking a gentle seated twist, just lifting and lengthening with each inhale, and then easing over to the right as you exhale. And then next exhale, release, turn to face forward, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Sitting tall, switch the way the hands are clasped this time. So opposite thumb comes in front, fingers interlaced, and then pushing the hands away from you, straightening the arms, flexing the palms. Shoulders in the sockets, shoulders down the back. As you inhale, begin to bring the hands higher and higher. Once again, just finding your edge. It may be just a little bit above the head. It may go further and further up towards the ceiling, depending on how open the shoulders are and how you're able to keep the shoulders down the back. Take another inhale as you sit tall, and then exhale, begin to rotate to the left. And then once you've turned to that side, unclasp, open the arms, and then stretch wide as you reach for the ground. Cross the right hand to the opposite knee, place that left hand behind you to prop you up so you can sit tall. It can be elevated on something, or if you're in a chair, grab the back of the chair. And then take maybe a couple more breaths here as you work that rotation, twisting to the left. And then exhaling, coming out of the twist, facing forward. And then let's come to hands and knees. So uncrossing the leg or coming up from your seat, make your way to a kneeling position on your mat or on a blanket or towel if your knees need a little something under them. And then setting up on all fours. So you're going to start with cat and cow. Just start slow, just a gentle pulling of the chest forward as you inhale, look ahead. With the exhale, rounding that upper back, push into the hands and feel that stretch in between the shoulder blades and the upper back. And then inhale, draw the heart forward again, look past your mat. Exhale, push the mat away, round the back body, look towards the belly, so the head and the neck hang. Do that a few more times, cycling through cat and cow, matching your breath pace. So whatever pace you're breathing, inhales, bring it forward, exhales, round to cat's breath. And then as you come back to neutral, widen the knees a bit. And then start to wag the hips side to side. And then let's turn that into circling. So as the hips shift to one side, move toward the back, toward the heels, roll to the other side, shift forward a bit over the hands, and then rotate maybe about 3 or 4 times in one direction. It can be small circles or you can make them really big. You can nod your head around as well if it feels good. Just letting your body move however it wants to move. And just listening to your breath as you do that. When you're ready, reverse directions, go the opposite way a few times, circling the hips around. And then coming back through center here, keeping the knees wide, tuck the toes under, lift the knees up, come into down dog. Bend one knee a lot, straighten the other leg a bit more, send the heel towards the mat, and then switch sides. So stretching into the back of the calf as you work to get one leg straight at a time. And then maybe move a little faster, maybe wag the hips as you do this. Keep engaging through the upper body though. Push into the hands and try to lift up away from the front of your mat so the hips are high and the thighs are pressing back each time you straighten the leg. And then gently lower the knees back down. Take a brief child's pose. So maybe traditional, sit onto the heels, arms forward, or maybe give yourself more space if belly is big and doesn't have enough room. You can always just keep the butt up in the air, cross the forearms, and just rest there for child's pose. And then bring yourself back up to hands and knees. Okay, once you're in hands and knees, I'm going to have you find an even tabletop. So your wrists are under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips for now. And then step your right foot back, coming onto the ball of the foot. Let's do a brief calf stretch here. Push into the hands, keep the ball of the foot sealed, and then keep the leg straight as you try to move the heel as far behind the ball of the foot. So your shoulders move a little behind the wrist and you're stretching to the back of the calf. And then shift back to neutral, shoulders over wrists, and then extend your left arm straight forward. And then maybe stay here or work to slowly lift that back right foot off of the mat and then extend through the leg, press the heel all the way behind you and extend the left arm further forward. So opposite arm and leg, spinal balancing, stretching long across the back body. And then when you're ready, exhale, lower to hands and knees. Curl the toes under, sit onto the heels, come up here, and then just take a moment and rotate the wrist. So if you need to take breaks coming off of the wrist from time to time, if you're dealing with carpal tunnel, always take breaks as needed. And you can do some things on the forearms too. Keep that in mind if you're really dealing with wrist issues. Let's come back to hands and knees, tabletop, and then step the left foot back, coming onto the ball of the foot. Let's start with a little calf stretch. So seal the ball of the foot, extend that heel all the way back. Push into the hand so that you're trying to move that heel all the way back. Nice stretch for the back of the leg, the calf muscle. And then shifting forward to neutral, and then stretching your right arm straight out in front of you. And then if balance is a little tricky today or off, you can always just keep the back foot sealed if you're lifting it. Make sure the heel doesn't go any higher than the hip. And then really work to extend the heel. So the foot flexes and the toes point down, but that leg extends strongly behind you as that opposite arm reaches out ahead. And then lower on the exhale, hands and knees. And then this time, walk your hands back to your knees. You can sit on the heels or you can come all the way upright. I'm going to have us do little side stretches here. Open the arms out wide. I'm going to turn to face you. Reach to the ceiling and then pluck apples off of a tree. Reach up high, grab that imaginary apple, pull it down. Take the other side, just stretching as you reach up to pull down. And then go ahead and reach both arms up. Turn the palms to face forward, hook the thumbs together. Now let the elbows bend a little bit. So as you inhale, stretch up taller. Try to get the top of the head towards the thumbs. And then as you exhale, tip over to the right a bit. And go as far as you can comfortably go, just getting a pretty big stretch along that side body. And then slowly bring it up through center. Unclasp, hook the other thumb. Go ahead and reach upright, lengthen all the way up. And then take it slowly, exhale, tip it to the other side. So the thumbs are kind of tugging apart and the elbows are kind of bending outward as you work that side stretch. And then bring it all the way up through center. Unclasp, stretch the arms out, lean forward and bring your hands back to the mat. Right. Once you're back to hands and knees, take the knees wider, curl the toes, lift the knees, come back to that moving down dog. Pedal the feet a bit, shift the hips a little side to side, walk it out. And then go ahead and still the pedaling of the feet. Start to walk your hands closer and closer towards your feet. So you're going to come to a forward fold. Once you get there, feet parallel as wide as you need them to be for comfort. Soften the knees and just let yourself hang here. If it feels nice, clasp the elbows. Maybe sway or nod the head if you like. Just allow your upper body to release in this forward fold. And then when you're ready, release the clasp of the arms, bend the knees, and begin to roll upright to stand. So take your time coming upright slowly. And then once you are upright, standing tall, take a moment to soften the knees just enough that you can distribute the weight evenly in the feet. So you're not hanging so far forward in the balls of the feet, not straining the lower back too much, just keeping the knees a little bit soft. Feel the feet press down. Feel that stretch all the way up through the upper body, crown of the head reaching up. And then take an inhale and circle your arms wide, reaching all the way up to the ceiling. With your exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees, soften, lean forward. You're going to come all the way back down to a forward fold. Then as you inhale, place the hands high onto the shins or maybe even the thighs and stretch your upper body forward. Draw the shoulders back. Try to find a flat back here. Knees can be bent. And then exhale, fold back over the legs. Now shift the weight a little further back into the heels as you bend the knees. Bring the arms forward and then up at an angle. So you're in a wide-legged chair pose. More weight is in the heels. Hips are moving back and down. Knees are bending, arms are lifting. On your inhale, press into the feet, straighten the legs, stand tall, reach the arms up, and then exhale, take the hands to the heart. Let's do a couple more like that with the breath, half sun salutes. Inhale, arms circle all the way up, reach. Exhale, melt, hands together, knees bend, folding all the way in. Inhale, hands to shins or thighs, stretch halfway forward. Exhale, fold over the legs, bending the knees, transfer the weight to the heels, arms forward and up. Exhale, sit a little deeper as the knees bend. And then inhale, press to stand, reach. Exhale, hands to the heart. Once again like that. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. Exhale, bring it all the way back into a forward fold. Inhale, place the hands onto the legs, stretch forward, flat back. Exhale, folding again. Knees bending a lot, arms forward and up. Sit the hips back and down. Exhale, go into that chair, sit low. Inhale, now press to stand, reach. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Right, take an inhale, circle the arms wide again, reach it up. Exhale, once again, melt back down to that forward fold. Then as you inhale, come halfway up, nice long spine stretch ahead. Take another breath here and really work to lengthen. And then as you exhale, fold down. Now do this, bend the knees, take the hands to the mat, start to crawl crawl forward to downward facing dog. So you're gonna walk the hands forward as far as you need to come to that downward facing dog. Okay, now just working a little bit here. Take an inhale, start to shift forward into a plank pose. So you may need to wiggle the feet a little further back. And then you're gonna take the knees down to take a modified plank here. All right, then optional, maybe just stay here and work strength, or lift the legs and cross the ankles. You can take the knees a little closer if you need to. Maybe try just a little mini push-up. Maybe just bend the elbows a bit and then press down, just strengthening the upper body a bit. Maybe do that a couple more times, just slow bending, straighten the arms. Maybe cross the ankles the other way. Just kind of waking up those arm muscles. Will come in handy when carrying baby around. And then when you're ready, straighten the arms, uncross. And then go ahead and shift the hips back. Take another child's pose, traditional or tush up in the air. And then coming forward back to your hands and knees. And then let's do this. We're going to float opposite arm and leg, just moving a little bit with the breath. So extending your right leg straight back. You can either touch the foot down or extend through the heel, left arm extends forward. And then exhale, back to hands and knees. Switching sides, inhale, opposite arm and leg stretch out. Exhale to hands and knees. Inhale, other side, reach it out. Exhale, hands and knees. Inhale, second side, reach. Exhale, hands and knees. One more time each side. Inhale, reach it out. Exhale, hands and knees. Inhale, stretch it out. Exhale, hands and knees. All right, keeping the knees where they are. Walk the hands back toward the knees. Come up to kneeling once again. Let's get a little shoulder stretching here. Reach the arms behind you, interlace the fingers. Keep the elbows a little bit bent for now, and then brush the back body down. So start to move the clasped hands down toward the backs of the knees. Lift the chest up, roll the shoulders back, and then tip the head back, look at the ceiling. Make sure you're not going into the lower back, not too far down. Think about more of a lift of the chest, broadening across the collarbones. Nice little stretch for the shoulders. And then slowly unclasp, reach the arms out and up, look towards the ceiling, and then exhale, draw the hands down to the heart. Right, so take your hands to your hips, lift your right knee, I'm going to turn to the side to face you, and then step that foot off to the side, toes pointing forward. And then have the arch of the foot right across from the left knee. And then once you have that, extend the left arm to the left. Reach that palm up and then stretch that hand up to the ceiling. Begin to lean over that extended leg, any amount. Maybe the hand stays at the hip, maybe you move that hand down the leg. And just choosing how far you want to go into this. Try to release the shoulders down the back, keep the chest open. And then inhaling back upright, hands to hips. And then begin to heel toe that foot forward. Take your time just kind of walking it to the top of the mat. You can keep it wider than the hip for a little bit more space for the belly. Wiggle the toes forward a bit perhaps. And then let that knee bend. Right. Make sure the knee doesn't go past the ankle. If it does, you can walk the toes a little further forward so you have a deep lunge here. And then try to get the hands to lift it from the pelvis up so it doesn't tip forward, it doesn't put strain on the lower back. It keeps a little bit more neutral. And then once you have that, take the arms into a cactus shape. So bent elbows, palms facing forward, and then draw the forearms together in front of you. You can either do this, you can cross left over right and then wrap the palms, or you can grab shoulders if that's a little easier for the shoulders. So once you have that shoulder stretch, lift the elbows and present them further away from you. Take another breath here. Keep the right knee bending forward. And then uncross the arms. Stretch them out wide. Flip the palms up, inhale, stretch the hands overhead. Maybe lift the chest, lift the gaze, look up. And then exhale, draw the hands down to the heart. Take your right hand to your thigh, left hand to your hip. Walk the foot wider, as wide as you like. Then begin to lean forward so you can release the left hand either to the ground or place it on a block or any other prop to elevate. And then let that knee sink forward, let the back hip release. Then begin to maybe move that knee away from you. So you're kind of roll into the knife edge of the foot and then lean the head back, opposite direction. So a nice little stretch for the lower back. It's getting a little into the outer hip and the back hip flexor. Notice if this bottom shoulder is punching forward, try to move that back and then really open the chest as you turn towards the right. And then slowly make your way back onto the sole of the foot and then begin a slow movement of bringing that foot back towards you. So just kind of heel, toe, walk it back. Once it's back far enough, lower the right hand, take the knee down, walk the left hand towards you. And then once you're back to neutral tabletop, just do a little cat and cow for a moment. And then come back to a neutral spine, walk your hands back to your knees, come back to kneeling, hands on hips, lift the left knee and then step that foot to the side. So we're taking this variation of gate pose Parigasana. You want the right hip to be above the knee and the left leg extended out to the side, toes pointing forward. Reach the right arm to the side, palm up. Inhale, stretch it up as high as you can and then start to tip it over the extended leg. Doesn't have to be very far if you're already feeling a good stretch. If you need to go further, let the hand move down the leg. And continue breathing, keep the chest open, shoulders out of the ears. And then inhaling back upright, hands on the hips, bend that left knee, and then start to slide the heel in, toes, and then give it a little walk, walk, walk forward. And then once it's in front of you, toes pointing forward, maybe wiggle the toes further forward to deepen that lunge. Don't let the pelvis dip down. So you're going to want to keep holding the front of the pelvis and encourage it to stay neutral. The more it stays neutral, you'll get more of a stretch in that back hip flexor, so the top of the thigh, the muscle that actually wraps from behind and moves down the front of the leg. So it's tighter on a lot of us. Once you have a strong bend, take the arms into that cactus shape. Draw the forearms together. Let the right go over the left. So if you're holding shoulders, just rep. If you're doing the eagle arms, go ahead and get the palms to press, fingers pointing up. The thumb part of the hand is right in front of your face, and then try to lift the elbows higher. Move the forearms or elbows forward. Keep that front knee bending, keep the upper body lifting. And then release the arms, stretch them out wide, the stretch open across the chest. Palms face up. Once again, inhale, lift up nice and high as you reach up. Don't let the shoulders hunch up. Take another inhale. And then draw the hands down through the heart. Bring one hand to your thigh. And then begin to lean forward, walk it to the side. Give yourself as much space as you need. So this foot can be way over to the side, especially if you need more room for the belly. And then maybe lift the inner edge of the foot and start to push the knee away from you. Let the upper body stretch forward, inhaling, and then start the twist as you exhale. Maybe really open the chest so you lean the head back towards the right as you turn towards the left. And then slowly come back onto the sole of the foot and begin very gently walking it back. Take your time to get there, no rush. And then take that hand down, lower the knee, move the right hand towards you, and then return to cat and cow. Listen to your breath. And then once you're ready to come back to a neutral spine here, take your knees wider, as wide as you like. Curl your toes under, lift your knees up. Once again, come back to down dog. And then if you'd like, just a little bit of pedaling if you want to move the down dog, bending the knees. And then when you're ready, begin to walk your hands once again back towards your feet. So you're going to come back to a forward fold. This time, as you fold forward, turn the toes out. You may need to adjust the width of the stance. You're going to come into a squat pose. So start to bend the knees and drop the seat. If this is a little too difficult to get into, you can place something underneath the heels, a rolled up towel or a blanket, or you can have something for your seat like a bolster or a block. So you're going to come into Malasana squat pose. So once you're there, grab any props, anything you need to get here. You're going to bring your elbows to the inside of the knees. So you'll turn to face forward so it's easier to see. So the heels may not get all the way down. You may want to place something underneath them. So once the elbows are pressing into the knees, place the hands together and try to push the knees back into the elbows. And then try to lift, instead of hunching forward, lift the chest up away from the ground, draw the shoulders back. Then breathe. Maybe just stay here for a bit. If all you need is to just find that deep squat. If you'd like to challenge your muscles a bit, work the strength of the legs. Consider shifting the weight a little further forward. Lift the seat off of the heels. Press into the feet. Use the strength of the legs to rise to stand. Stretch the arms all the way up. Make a V shape, lift the chest. And then slowly take it back down to a squat. Bend the knees. Bring the hands together. Nestle the elbows inside of the knees. And then once again, you can stay right here or maybe try that a couple more times. Lift the seat, push into the feet, stretch the arms up to the ceiling, open the chest. Exhale, bring it all the way back down. Come to that squat. And then once again, pressing to the feet. Stretch it all the way up, reach for the ceiling, open the arms. One more time, bring it all the way back down to that squat. All right, so from your squat, go ahead and bring your hands forward and then lift the seat, parallel the feet so you can come back to that forward fold. Once you're in that forward fold, bring your hands to your shins or thighs, stretch halfway up, so feet are parallel now. Exhale, folding down over the legs. Bending your knees, come back to that chair pose. And then sit deeply into that chair, dig into those heels, press to stand as you inhale, reach all the way up. And then exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, let's stay standing. We're going to work some standing poses. So bring yourself maybe to the middle of the mat if you need more space so you can stretch the legs out. Bring the hands to the hips, step your feet nice and wide. So if you need to measure the distance, reach your arms out and then try to get the ankles pretty much right underneath the wrists. So that's about how far apart you're going to want the feet for this pose, for these poses we're doing. And then bring the hands back to the hips. Bend your right knee and then rotate from the hip socket, point the toes straight forward. Peel your left toes in closer, lift the heel and move it further back. So that foot comes at a 45-degree angle. And then look and make sure that that right heel pretty much lines up with the arch of the back foot. So heel to arch. And then bending the right knee forward. So try to find a strong bend so the knee comes right above the ankle, not past it. And then take the hands up from the waist onto the rib cage. Hold the rib cage like we did at the beginning of class. And then turn it back towards the side so it doesn't start to turn toward the bent knee. And then lift the rib cage up. Breathe into the hands. Relax the shoulders and then stretch the arms out. So make a little bit more space for the trunk of the body. And then as the arms reach out, turn the head and look past your right fingertips. Bend your right knee just a little bit more. And then push into the foot, straighten the leg, raise the arms to the ceiling, moving in and out with the breath. Exhale, come back to that warrior two pose, look forward, knee bent. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale again up. Exhale, warrior two. Stay here. Take your left hand to your hip, flip the right palm up. Reverse warrior. Upper body reaches up high, and then that right arm maybe stretches behind you. The right knee stays bent, so you're lengthening through that right side. And then inhale, coming back upright. Take both hands to hips, parallel the feet. Turn the right toes back in, parallel the left foot to the right foot. So maybe you need to step the feet in, shake it out, or just stay in the stance so we can take the other side. So when you're ready, wide stance, hands on hips, bend the left knee. And then turn from the hip socket, point the toes forward. Adjust to create that 45 angle with your right foot. So the heel can be further away from you, the toes point in. And then see that your heel to arch, adjust the stance as you need to. And then find a nice strong bend of that left knee. Walk the hands or slide them up onto your rib cage, holding the ribs. Turn and adjust the torso so it's neutral to where we started. Lift the rib cage up so hips are right under the shoulders. Breathe into the hands. Keep the chest open as the arms stretch out. And then just the head turns to look forward. Go ahead and sink into that left knee a little bit more. Press into that front heel. Then as you inhale, straighten the legs, slowly reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, return to second warrior. Inhale up. Exhale, bending. Inhale, lift. Exhale, warrior two. Stay with the legs. Stay with the legs the same place they are. Take your right hand to your hip for support, left palm up. Inhale, let the upper body do the reverse. Reach up nice and high. Doesn't have to be that far back. If you want to go bigger, stretch into that side as you reach that arm further behind you. Keep the left knee bending straight forward. And then as you inhale, rise back upright, hand to hip, point the toes forward. Great. Take a moment here, bend the knees, slide the heels in, and then the toes, and then just keep walking the feet closer together. Once they're close enough, pedal them out of it. Maybe even rotate the ankles. All right, we're going to stay standing. I'm going to have us work our squats again, not as deep. This one's more of a horse stance. So when you're ready, take your feet wide again, maybe not quite as wide as we just were. And you're going to turn the toes out this time. Right, so once you have the toes turned out, let's start with this nice little lower back stretch. So you're going to bend your knees, slide the hands down your thighs. Now lean forward. Yeah, let your butt stick out behind you. And then fingers point toward the knees. Push into the hands, press onto the thighs. So there's some weight there. So you feel you're really strongly pushing onto the tops of the thighs. Draw the shoulders back behind you, pull the chest forward. Inhale. Keep the knees pointing over the toes. As you exhale, twist to the right. Let that left shoulder drop to center. So you may find, a nice little release for the lower back. As you inhale, come back through center. As you exhale, take it to the other side. Keep the knees pointing over the toes. And then bring it back through center. Right. Then drop the seat lower, lift the chest, make the hands lighter, reach the arms out, turn the palms up, press to stand, straighten the legs, reach all the way up. And then exhale, draw the hands to the heart. Right. And we'll do some dynamic squats. So we're going to move with the breath. You can make them gentle just by bending the knees a little bit. If you want to work harder and strengthen the legs, you're going to go low. Try to get the hips really low. Right. So take an inhale. Circle the arms wide. Reach up. With your exhale, bend the elbows, bend the knees. come into that squat. Stretch the arms out, press into the feet, straighten the legs, raise the arms up, and then exhale once again, squat. Arms out, inhale, press to stand, exhale, come to the squat. Doing that a few more times with the breath. So each exhale brings you to the squat, each inhale presses you to stand. So make them gentle if you need to, go deep into the squat if you want. Just a few times, moving along with the breath. All right, last time, go into that squat, stretch the arms out. Inhale, slowly press to stand. Reach all the way up to the ceiling. And then exhale, draw the hands to the heart. And then take the hands to the hips. Soften the knees a bit, turn the toes in, and then walk the feet closer together. Okay, so we're going to make our way back down to the mat. I'm going to have us work a very gentle variation of Ustrasana camel pose. So it is a back bend, but we're going to focus it on the middle and upper back because that's the area that we need to open into. We need to kind of release the lower back a bit. So I'll offer options to do this with props. If you have the bolster, you can place it behind your calves, or you can do this with your hands remaining holding the back body the whole time. So you can take it a little gentler, you can go a little deeper if you'd like. So if you have that bolster and you know you'd like to use it, you're going to come to kneeling. So either way, you're going to be kneeling. You're going to have your knees right underneath your hips. So your lower legs are just relaxed behind you, toes are uncurled. So the lower legs are parallel behind you. So you don't want the feet to come together. You want your ankles right behind your knees. So if you have that bolster, you're going to use it, just place it behind your calves. Okay. So first one, we're not even going to reach any further back. We're going to keep the hands behind us the whole time. Before we get started, let's remind ourselves to kind of find a little bit more space in the upper body. Hold the rib cage, and just like we've done before, lift the rib cage up off of the waist so that you feel you're kind of stretching up away from the pelvis so the upper body feels a little bit longer. Breathe into the hands. Keep that space. Now take the hands behind you so the palms are basically the top of the buttocks. Fingers are pointing down. And then once you have that there, feel like you could actually move that area down. So you can almost slide the top of the buttocks down, down, down towards the backs of the knees or towards the bolster. And then lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders back. Try to bring the elbows closer together. Notice if you're starting to overarch the lower back, release the tailbone down, lift the chest up. And in this first one, it's just a little taste of it. Keep pulling the chest up so much that you begin to coil back from the middle and upper back. So with the hands behind you, it's supporting and releasing the lower back down, not shortening. And then lift the chest a little bit more. And then just slowly make your way back to neutral. All right, take the arms down by the sides for a moment. So this next one will be kind of one arm at a time. So you can do this with one hand staying behind you, or if you have the bolster and you want to go bigger, you can reach for the bolster. So let's just start with the hands behind, lift the chest up. And then just a slight turning towards the right, left arm is going to stretch forward and up. And then keep moving that tailbone down. Maybe stay there if you have the bolster and want to go deeper. Slide the fingertips down to the bolster, press onto it so you can lift higher and find more of a curve in the upper back. If it's too much, just keep the hand behind you. And then very slowly come back to neutral. Both hands behind you. And then take it to the other side. So just a subtle turning of the upper body to the left as that right arm raises nice and high. And then if you're staying here and just working the stretch, great. If you're moving the hand down, and pressing onto the bolster, you can also press onto blocks or other props, whatever may be comfortable to rest on your legs, of course. And then slowly bring it back to neutral. Both hands behind you. Let's do one more. So either keeping the hands behind, or maybe you're going to reach for the bolster. Inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Elbows come close together. Try to keep the hips right above the knees. Try to not shorten the lower back, just puff the chest up to the ceiling. Maybe stay there, or very gently reach the fingertips to the bolster. And then press into it, lift the chest up higher. Maybe lean the head back just enough to feel a little bit of opening across the chest. Then very gently, hands to the back body for support. Lift all the way back up to neutral. And then once you're there, wherever you are, you can come to sit. You can sit on that bolster if you have it, or if you don't, you can just sit onto the heels. Take a moment here, and then just let the hips shift a little side to side. And then go ahead and come back upright, lean forward, bring your hands to the mat. And then lift your shins, point them over to the left, set them down. Walk your hands towards you, closer toward the right knee, and you're gonna sit so that your knees are bent. So if you need to see, I'm sitting like this, lower legs pointing behind me. Adjust however it's comfortable. You can widen the knees as much as you need. You can bring this bottom foot outside, or you can have the legs slung over it. So we're going to take a seated twist here. So you're going to inhale and sit up nice and tall, lengthen the upper body. With your exhale, you're going to turn towards the right and then eventually cross that left hand to the right knee. And as you turn further, bring the right hand behind you, either fingertips on the ground or on a block, or if you want, you can wrap that arm behind the back and then go deeper into the twist. So it's a nice open twist. It gives you space to turn. Make sure you're seated upright, you're not leaning to the side. And then with each inhale, really feel yourself stretching up and lengthening. With each exhale, feel yourself maybe turning a little bit further. For the next 3 breaths, turn your head slowly to look forward over your left shoulder. Just a little stretch of the neck. And then release from the twist. To switch the legs, this time just lean back. Gonna bring the legs forward. Roll to the left hip, then bending the knees. Just walk the feet back towards you and then recreate that same stance. However you set it up the first time so that you're seated comfortably and you're able to sit upright. And then inhale, lengthen through the upper body. Sit up tall. With your exhale, turn slowly to the left and then cross the right hand over. Choose to wrap that arm behind you or to press onto something. So whatever you need, if the ground seems too low, you can take a block or a book or something to kind of prop you up so you can work to sit up tall and to breathe into the twist. And then keep yourself in the twist from the shoulders down. Turn the head, just slowly begin to look over the opposite shoulder. So turning your head away from the way the rest of your body is twisting. It's a nice little stretch for the neck. Don't overdo it, just let it feel nice. And then release from the twist. Stay with your left knee bent. Lean back to the left a little bit so you can slide the right leg out at an angle. And then left heel right in front of the groin. And then extend through that right heel. Flex the foot, toes point up. And then take a moment to sit up nice and tall. Stretch the arms out. With your exhale, take a very subtle twist toward the left, toward the bent knee. So your right arm is stretched straight over your right leg. And then begin to reach over that leg. Stretch all the way out as far as you can. Then grab for something. So you can grab for your foot, ankle if that's more available. You can even take something to rest that form if you need to stay a little bit more upright. And then you're going to turn this left palm up, reach it to the ceiling, and then maybe stretch it over that extended leg as well. This is one where, depending on how much of a side stretch you need, you may be a little bit more upright, or you may need to go bigger and reach further over. Figure out what's best for you. Don't let the shoulders hunch up. Try to keep the hips anchored and just work to feel a nice lengthening through that top left side of the body without turning towards the extended leg. The chest is still facing the side and the shoulders draw down the back. And then inhale, slowly come back upright. And then switching sides, you're going to start to bring your right heel in, extend the left leg out. And then once you draw that heel close to you, sit up nice and tall. So if your seat needs something under it, you can sit up on something. Flex through the left toes. Stretch the arms out, inhale, lift upright, and then exhale, turn towards the right, towards the bent knee just a little bit. And then look at the left hand, reach it all the way out. And then take it down, grab whatever you need to, look to the back, right hand, turn it up and stretch it up nice and high. And then any amount, sweep it over that extended leg as well. And then inhaling slowly back upright, take the arm down. And you keep the left leg where it is. Stretch the right leg out slowly to meet it. So you're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold here. So once again, grab props if you know you want to use them. Once you lean forward, if you want to have blocks or a bolster to rest the hands on. And then make sure the toes are pointing straight up. So have the legs as far as wide as it's comfortable for you. So it can be more angled forward. It doesn't have to be super wide. Make sure you're able to sit up tall. Keep the hips anchored, upper body lifted. Right. And then just take the hands down to the ground in front of you. Work to keep your spine long, flat back. And then as you exhale, just tip forward any amount. So you may find just a few inches. Great, you're feeling a good stretch. You don't need to go further. You may need to walk the hands further forward. Make sure the toes don't start to point forward too. They stay pointed up. And then if you're wanting to rest the hands or forearms on something, any props you have that you want to use, or you can just take it on the hands and just lean forward any amount. And this is another one where, depending on how much of a stretch you need in the legs, how open you are, you may be a little bit more upright. You're already feeling it. You may need to lean further down. So take maybe about 5 or 6 breaths wherever you are in this wide-legged fold. And then begin to walk your hands back towards you to come back upright. And then hold the backs of the knees. lean back just a little bit and pull the knees up, drag the heels towards you. Place your feet onto the mat, feet wider than your hips, and then place your hands behind you. So you're gonna lean back, and then you're just gonna let your knees fall to one side, lift the opposite hip up, get a nice little stretch in the lower back, and then bring it to center, switch to the other side. Maybe do that a couple more times. And then bring it back to center, cross your legs. So you're gonna sit in Sukhasana. We're gonna take a forward fold from here. So make sure the feet are flexed. And then hold onto the knees. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back. As you exhale, begin to tip forward. Try to maintain a flat back for as long as you can. The more you do, the more you'll feel the stretch in the outer hips. And then maybe take the hands down to the ground. Once again, crawl them forward as needed. And it may not have to go very far. If your hips are really open and you're not feeling the stretch just by sitting with the legs crossed, you may need to stack one leg on top. So you're taking this double pigeon, so it's a fire log, stacked legs, and then you can do the same thing. If that's too much of a stretch, just have the legs crossed in front of you. And then take about 5 or 6 breaths here for your hips stretch so that you're keeping the back of the pelvis anchored, and you're just leaning forward over the crossed legs. And walking your hands back towards you, sitting upright, switch the legs. So cross the other leg in front or stack the other leg on top. Once again, try to maintain the flex of the feet. Take a moment to sit up tall, shoulders back. And then as you exhale, start to slowly tip forward. Try to not round the spine and hunch the shoulder forward. Try to just tip forward with the legs. And then take the hands down as needed, walk them forward as much as you need to. Just take it step by step. And then once you're there, just be there for a few breaths. When you're ready, walk your hands back towards you and then uncross the legs. And then take a moment to stretch the legs out in front of you. And then do a little kind of shift side to side. Maybe even let the feet flop a little. So we're going to take a seated forward fold. So the feet can be as wide as you need them. So obviously it's not going to be a really open wide leg. So the legs are more extended forward, but give yourself just enough space for the belly so it doesn't feel crunched. So I'm going to turn to the side. And keep in mind you may want to have something to loop around the feet if you know the feet are hard to catch. So a belt, a strap, a towel, anything can be used. So once you have that tall seat, place your hands next to your sides for a moment. So you can have fingertips on the ground, you can be on the palms depending on the length of your arms. And then try to kind of elevate the upper body up a bit with the heels extending all the way forward. Draw the shoulders back. Maintain this nice long back body. And then reach the arms forward and all the way up. Shoulders out of the ears. On your exhale, tip forward just a couple of inches. Pause. And then try to lengthen further through the fingertips. You should feel a good stretch in the lower back. And then exhale, tip a little further forward. And then keep doing that step by step until you come closer and closer. At a certain point, you're not going to be able to really go any further with a flat back. So bring the hands down. Grab your toes or your ankles or your calves or loop something around the feet. And then take another inhale. Pull the chest forward, shoulders back. really work to lengthen, and then exhale, begin to fold in. Now you can allow the back body to round a bit, maybe even draw the chin towards the chest. Then slowly bring yourself all the way upright to sit. And then I'm going to have you bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet together. Actually, let's do this first. Let's do a brief Baddha Konasana. So I'm going to turn to face forward again. Bring your heels all the way close to your hips. And then kind of rock a little bit, find center. And then grab the fronts of the ankles. We won't be here for a long stretch, just a brief one to get to the inner groin. Roll the shoulders back, sit tall. Exhale, tip forward over the feet any amount. Maybe use your elbows to nudge the knees out a little bit more if you need to. Just a couple more breaths here. And then slowly inhale, come back upright. Now slide your feet as far away from you as you can while keeping the feet together. So your legs are more in a diamond shape. And then hold on to the shins just below the knee where the knees are. And then we're going to finish with just a little bit of movement. So just a gentle movement. So start by just swaying side to side a bit. And then maybe the swing will turn into circling and leaning forward, rotating around. You can do that, maybe lift one hip at a time, maybe go a little bigger into it, maybe roll the shoulders around. I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes. And then just let your body move how it wants to move. Reverse directions, switch it up a bit, just let yourself move gently, slowly. Listen to your breath. And begin to slow it down, make the movements smaller. And when you're ready, just come upright to sit for a moment. And slowing things down, slowing the breath down. Gently open your eyes. We're going to make our way into our final resting pose, Shavasana. I'll encourage you to find any comfortable position for you that's not lying flat onto your back. If you have like a recliner chair, you can do that. You can lay onto your side. If you have a nice big pillow, a body pillow, a bolster, you can set up something that's usually pretty nice if you're laying onto your side, is to either have the bolster between the knees or use with a pillow, or just sling the top leg over. So it feels like you have a little bit more space and you can get the hips to step, and you can lay and rest onto your side. Or if you do have the bolster and two blocks, this is how we set it up in a regular class. I'll show you that. One block the highest height, the other block the lowest height, wedged up against it so it makes a little L shape. And then the bolster is going to lay over that. Once that's set up, find your seat right in front of the bolster, so no gap between the lower back and the bolster, so you want the back of the pelvis right there. Before you lean back, figure out what's going to work best for your legs. If you know you'd like to bring the feet together, Baddha Konasana, I would recommend maybe wrapping a towel or a blanket around the feet and then wedging it underneath the sides of the thighs for support, or resting props under the knees. You can also just have the legs gently crossed, extended forward, or keep the feet on the mat. So if you're taking this position with the bolster, once you lean back onto it, make your way into the shape that's best for you. If you have additional props, if you want to rest the forearms on other blocks or pillows or anything that's going to make you feel comfortable. So really find something that will allow you to relax and feel restful. Once you're in that position, just take a moment, notice if you can just kind of release the shoulders further down the back. So whatever shape you've taken. So the shoulders are relaxed. And then once you're settled, with your eyes closed, let's take a moment just to kind of move through the body and see if we can calm every little bit of the body. So beginning with the top of the head, start to move down, notice the facial muscles. Let the eyes feel heavy in their sockets. The cheekbones and the jaw muscles relax and unclench. Soften the throat. Melt the shoulders. And then relax the arms. Let all of that just relaxed energy move all the way down through the fingertips. And as you move down to the trunk of the body, feel the back body supported. Feel the muscles surrounding your rib cage, surrounding the belly, baby's home. Let everything relax. Hips feel nice and anchored. Legs, whatever shape you've chosen, just relax each muscle all the way from the thighs, quadriceps down through the calf muscles, the muscles in the ankles, and all the way down through the tips of the toes, so that nothing is being gripped or tightened or held anymore. You can allow yourself to let go, to feel calm, to rest in Shavasana. When you are ready, take your time, no rush. Begin to let your body slowly reawaken. Maybe wiggle toes and fingers. And then taking your time to come upright to sit. So if you're on the bolster, maybe shift to your side or press straight up. However, it's best for you to come upright to seated. And once you're in an upright seated position, finding a comfortable seat, go ahead and bring one hand over your belly, over baby's home. Lay the other hand over your heart and let your eyes close one last time. Listen to your breath. Feel that connection to your breath, to your body, to your baby. And simply transfer the hands together in front of the heart, palms pressing together. Take an inhale, sit up tall, let the heart lift to the hands. With your exhale, gently bow the head to the fingertips. Thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste. Take care.